Hello students and welcome to CBSE Class 10 Science 2022 Solved Paper with Kunal Kohli. Section A. Question 1A. Write the molecular formula of the following carbon compounds. 1. Methane. 2. Propane. B. Carbon compounds have low melting and boiling points. Why? Concept. Intermolecular forces in covalent compounds. Explanation. Carbon compounds are generally covalent, meaning the bonds within the molecules are strong, but the forces of attraction between the separate molecules are not strong. This requires less energy to overcome during phase changes. So answer A1, CH4. Answer A2, C3H8. B, they have low melting and boiling points because the intermolecular forces are weak. Question 2. The electrons in the atoms of two elements, X and Y, are distributed in three shells having 1 and 7 electrons respectively in their outermost shells. A. Write the group numbers of these elements in the modern periodic table. B. Write the molecular formula of the compound formed when X and Y combine with each other. C. Which of the two is electropositive? Concept, modern periodic table and valency. Explanation. The group number is determined by the number of valence electrons. For 1 electron, it is group 1. For 7 electrons, it is group 17. Electropositivity is the tendency of an atom to lose electrons and form positive ions, which is characteristic of group 1 elements. Answer A, element X, group 1. Element Y, group 17. B, XY. C, element X is electropositive. Question 3A. Which of the following flowers will have higher possibility of self-pollination? Mustard, papaya, watermelon, hibiscus. B. List the two reproductive parts of a bisexual flower. Concept, pollination in bisexual flowers. Explanation. Self-pollination is most common in bisexual flowers where both male and female reproductive organs are present in the same flower, allowing pollen to transfer easily to the same stigma. Answer A, mustard and hibiscus. B, stamens and pistil carpet. Question 4. Which one of the two multicellular organisms, Spirogyra and Planaria, reproduces by regeneration and why? Give an example of any other organism which can also reproduce by the same process. Concept, regeneration as a mode of asexual reproduction. Explanation. Regeneration is the ability of an organism to regrow lost body parts or develop a whole new individual from a fragment. This process relies on specialized cells capable of proliferating and differentiating. Answer. Planaria reproduces by regeneration. This is because regeneration is carried out by specialized cells which are not present in Spirogyra. Hydra is another organism that reproduces by this process. Question 5a. What is variation? List two main reasons that may lead to variation in a population. Or B1. In a cross between violet flowered plants and white flowered plants, state the characteristics of the plants obtained in the F1 progeny. 2. If the plants of F1 progeny are self-pollinated, then what would be observed in the plants of F2 progeny? 3. If 100 plants are produced in F2 progeny, then how many plants will show in the recessive trait? Concept, heredity and variation. Explanation. Variation provides a raw material for evolution and arises from genetic changes. In Mendelian inheritance, the F1 generation displays the dominant trait, while the recessive trait reappears in the F2 generation in a predictable 3:1 ratio. Answer A. Variation refers to the differences in the traits shown by the individuals of a species. Two reasons for that. 1. Inaccurate error in DNA copying. 2. Sexual reproduction. Or B1. Violet flowered plants. 2. Violet as well as white flowered plants. 3. 25 plants. And now we move on to question 6a. 1. Name and state the rule to determine the direction of force experienced by a current carrying straight conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field which is perpendicular to it. 2. An alpha particle, while passing through a magnetic field, gets projected towards north. In which direction will an electron project when it passes through the same magnetic field? Or B. 1. What is a solenoid? 2. Draw the pattern of magnetic field lines of the magnetic field produced by a solenoid through which a steady current flows. Concept: magnetic effects of electric current. Explanation: Fleming's left-hand rule is used to find the direction of force on a current-carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Because electrons are negatively charged, their direction of motion is opposite to the direction of conventional current. Answer A. 1. Fleming's left-hand rule: stretch the thumb, forefinger, and middle finger of your left hand such that they are mutually perpendicular. If the first finger points in the direction of the magnetic field and the second finger in the direction of current, the thumb points in the direction of motion or force. 2. South. Or B1. A coil of many circular turns of insulated copper wire wrapped closely in the shape of a cylinder. 2. The diagram should show parallel straight lines inside the solenoid and closed loops outside. Question 7a. What is ozone? How is it formed in the upper layers of the atmosphere? How does ozone affect our ecosystem? Or B1. List 2 human-made ecosystems. 2. We do not clean a pond in the same manner as we do an aquarium. Justify the statement with a reason. Concept: environmental management and ecosystems. Explanation: ozone is essential for protecting life from ultraviolet radiation. In ecosystems, natural systems possess self-sustaining mechanisms like decomposers, whereas artificial systems like aquariums require external intervention. Answer A. Ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen, O3. UV radiations split molecular oxygen, O2, into free atoms, O plus O, which then combine with O2 to form O3. It shields the surface of the Earth from damaging UV radiation. Or B1. Aquarium, crop field, or gardens. 2. A pond is a natural ecosystem containing decomposers that manage waste, whereas an aquarium is an artificial ecosystem without decomposers and needs regular cleaning for proper functioning. And now we move on to section B. This section of the 2022 science paper set 3111 contains 6 short answer type questions carrying 3 marks each. Question 8a. List 2 advantages of adopting the atomic number of an element as the basis of classification in the modern periodic table. B. Write the electronic configurations of element X, atomic number 13, and Y, atomic number 20. Concept: modern periodic classification. Explanation: the atomic number is a more fundamental property than atomic mass because it increases by a regular interval of 1 between elements, making the classification systematic. This allowed scientists to predict the properties of elements with much higher precision. Answer A. Advantages. 1. It is a more fundamental property that decides the properties of an element. 2. The arrangement is more systematic as atomic number increases by 1 between elements. B. X is to 2, 8, 3. Element Y is to 2, 8, 8, 2. Question 9a. Draw 2 different possible structures of a saturated hydrocarbon having 4 carbon atoms. What are these called? Write the molecular formula and common name. Also, write the molecular formula of its alkaline. Or B1. Write the molecular formula of benzene and draw its structure. 2. Write the number of single and double covalent bonds in benzene. 3. Which compounds are called alkynes? Concept: carbon compounds and isomerism. Explanation: saturated hydrocarbons with the same molecular formula but different structural arrangements are known as isomers. Benzene is a cyclic hydrocarbon with alternating bonds, while alkynes are characterized by the presence of a triple bond between carbon atoms. Answer A. The structures are straight chain butane and branched chain isobutane. These are called isomers. Molecular formula C4H10. Common name butane alkyne formula C4H6 or B1 benzene formula C6H6. Structure is a hexagonal ring with alternating single and double bonds. 2. 9 single bonds and 3 double bonds. 3. Hydrocarbons containing at least one triple bond. Question 10a. Mention one function each for 1. Testis, 2. Scrotum, 3. Vas deferens, 4. Prostate gland. B. Name the germ cell which 1 is motile and 2 stores food. Concept: human male reproductive system. Explanation: the male system produces gametes and the hormones necessary for secondary sexual characteristics. Specialized organs ensure that sperms are kept at a viable temperature and provided with the fluids needed for transport and nourishment. Answer A1. Testis produces sperms and testosterone. 2. Scrotum provides lower temperature for sperm formation. 3. Vas deferens transports sperms. 4. Prostate gland secretes fluid for easier transport and nutrition of sperms. B1. Sperm is motile. 2. Egg ovum stores food. Question 11. A. Draw a circuit diagram showing 3 resistors in parallel connected to a battery, ammeter, voltmeter, and key. B. Calculate the equivalent resistance of the network provided. Note: network includes R1 5 ohms, R2 10 ohms, R3 10 ohms, and R4 5 ohms. Concept: electrical circuits and resistance. Explanation: in a parallel combination, the reciprocal of the equivalent resistance is the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. In a series combination, the resistances are added directly. Answer A. The diagram should show R1, R2, R3 in parallel branches with a voltmeter across them and an ammeter battery in the main line. B. Resistance between C and D parallel is 1 upon RCD is equal to 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 10 is equal to 2 upon 10, which gives us RCD is equal to 5 ohms. Total resistance RS is equal to 5 ohms. R1 plus 5 ohms, RCD plus 5 ohms, R4 is equal to 15 ohms. Question 12a1. Define electric power and write its SI unit. 2 bulbs, 100 watts, 220 volts and 60 watts, 220 volts are in parallel to 220 volt mains. Find the total current drawn. Or B1. State Joule's law of heating and express it mathematically. 2. A 5 ohm resistor is connected to a 6 volt battery. Calculate energy dissipated as heat in 10 seconds. Concept: electricity and heating effects. Explanation: power is the rate of electrical energy consumption. Total current in a parallel circuit is the sum of the circuits drawn by each branch. Joule's law describes how electrical energy is converted to heat based on current, resistance, and time. Answer A1. Electric power is the rate at which electrical energy is dissipated or consumed. Its SI unit is the watt. 2. I1 is equal to 100 upon 220A. I2 is equal to 60 upon 220A. Total current I is equal to 160 upon 220 is equal to 0.73 amperes. Or B. Joule's law states that heat produced is directly proportional to the source of current. I square, resistance R, and time T. H is equal to I square RT, or H is equal to VIT. 2. Energy H is equal to V square upon R into T is equal to 6 square upon 5 multiplied by 10 is equal to 72J. Question 13a. Which group forms the first trophic level? Why? B. Why are humans most adversely affected by biomagnification? C. State one ill effect of the absence of decomposers. Concept: ecosystems at trophic levels. Explanation: producers capture solar energy to create food, forming the base of all food chains. Humans, as top predators, accumulate the highest concentrations of non-degradable chemicals through a process called biological magnification. Answer A. Producers, because they manufacture food via photosynthesis. B. Humans occupy the top level in any food chain, leading to the maximum concentration of non-degradable chemicals like DDT in their bodies. C. Without decomposers, the earth would be covered in dead bodies and the recycling of minerals would stop. Section C. This section consists of two case-based questions carrying 4 marks each. Question 14. The mechanism by which the sex of an individual is determined is called sex determination. A. Why is a pair of sex chromosomes in human beings called a mismatched pair in terms of type and size? B. Out of the male or female, which of them has a perfect pair of sex chromosomes? In case of a perfect pair, will the gametes produced be the same or of a different kind? C1. Name 2 animals whose sex is not genetically determined. Explain the process of their sex determination. Or C2. With the help of a flowchart only, show how sex is genetically determined in human beings. Concept: sex determination mechanisms. Explanation: in humans, biological sex is determined by the combination of X and Y chromosomes inherited from parents. While females possess 2 identical X chromosomes, males possess 1 X and 1 Y chromosome, the latter being the physically distinct. However, in other species, external factors like the environment or physiological changes play a role. Answer A. The pair is mismatched because it consists of 1 normal-sized X chromosome and 1 shorter Y chromosome. B. The female has a perfect pair XX. The gametes produced are of the same kind all contain an X chromosome. C1. Reptiles and snails. In reptiles, the incubation temperature of fertilized eggs determines the sex. In snails, individuals can change their sex during their lifetime. Or C2. The flowchart should show male XY crossing with female XX. The gametes from the male X are Y and from the female are X and X. The resulting zygotes show a 50% probability of XX female and 50% probability of XY female. Question 15. A student sprinkles iron filings around a bar magnet and observes that they arrange themselves in a particular pattern. A. Draw a diagram to show this pattern of iron filings. B. Draw the magnetic field lines of a bar magnet showing the poles as well as the direction of the lines. C1. How is the direction of magnetic field at a point determined using the field lines? Why do 2 magnetic field lines not cross each other? Or C2. How are the magnetic field lines of a bar magnet drawn using a small compass needle? Draw 1 magnetic field line each on both sides of the magnet. Concept: magnetic field patterns and properties. Explanation: magnetic field lines are visual tools used to represent the strength and direction of a magnetic field. These lines form continuous closed loops that exit from the North Pole and enter at the South Pole. Their paths are governed by the physical law that a magnetic force at any single point can only have one resultant direction. Answer A. The diagram should show continuous closed loops of filings denser at the poles and spreading out in the middle. B. The diagram should clearly label north and south poles with arrows pointing away from north and towards south. C1. The direction is determined by placing a compass needle on the line. The direction the north pole of the needle points is the field's direction. Field lines cannot cross because at the point of intersection, a compass needle would have to point in two different directions simultaneously, which is impossible. Or C2. Place a small compass near the north pole and mark the positions of its ends. Move the needle so its south pole occupies the position previously held by its north pole and mark the new position. Repeat these steps until the south pole is reached, then join the marks. And with that, we come to the end of our 2022 CBSE 10th Standard Solved Science paper with Kunal Kohli. Follow us for many more papers.